Hi everyone. So today we are going to talk about our next topic, which is homeostasis, and it can be considered as a part of cell physiology. So it is you can consider that it is the continuation of topic cell physiology. Okay, it is really very important topic because in exams there are many questions which can be asked from this topic, either in 2 marks, 5 marks, or in 10 marks. And it is very important to understand this homeostasis. So let's start this. Homeostasis refers to the maintenance of constant internal environment of the body. Importance of internal environment was noted by the great biologists of 19th century, Claude Bernard. He enlightened the fact that multicellular organisms, including man, live in a perfectly organized and controlled internal environment. The word homeostasis was introduced by Harvard professor Walter B. Cannon in 1990. Internal environment in the body is the extracellular fluid, which is ECF, in which the cells live. It is the fluid outside the cell and it constantly moves throughout the body. We know that, right? The fluid which resides outside of the cell is called the ECF, and which includes blood, which circulates in the vascular system, and fluid present in between the cells called the interstitial fluid. Matlab, the fluid which resides between the two cells is called the interstitial fluid. ECF contains nutrients, ions, and all other substances which are necessary for the survival of the cells. Normal healthy living of large organisms, including human beings, depend upon the constant maintenance of internal environment within the physiological limits. If the internal environment deviates before the set limits, body suffers from malfunctioning or dysfunction. Therefore, the ultimate goal of an organism is to have a normal healthy living, which is achieved by the maintenance of the internal environment within the set limits. The concept of homeostasis forms basis of physiology because it explains why various physiological functions are to maintain within a normal range, and in case if any function deviates from this range, how it is brought back to normal. Understanding the concept of homeostasis also forms the basis for clinical diagnostic and procedures. For example, increased body temperature beyond the normal range, which is 98.6 degree Fahrenheit and 37 degrees Celsius, as in the case of fever, indicates that something is wrong in the heat production and heat loss mechanism in the body. It includes the physician to go through the diagnostic proceedings and decide about the treatment. For the functioning homeostatic mechanism, the body must recognize the deviation of any physiological activity from the normal limits. Everything is set in internal environment. Every physiological activities is having normal limits, but any deviation or any change has to be recognized by the homeostatic mechanism, or by the body, we can say. So fortunately, body is provided with appropriate detectors or sensors which recognize the deviation. This detector sense the deviation and alter the integrating center. The integrating center immediately sends information to concerned effectors to either accelerate or inhibit the activity so that the normalcy is restored, right? in the body there are some detectors or sensors which are working to identify the deviation, and it gives message to the integrating center, and those integrating centers immediately sends the information to the concerned effectors that this is the deviation. So either you have to work to accelerate the activity, or you have to work to inhibit the activity, right? Like we have learnt this kind of stuff in dosha, kshaya and vriddhi, right? Matlab, if the doshas are not in their normal condition, so we have to if it is in kshaya avastha, then we have to increase the dosha, and if it is in a vriddhi avastha, then we have to decrease those dosha, and we have to try to normalize, and we have to try to balance those state of three doshas. But here these things and this processes are taken care by the detectors and sensors within the body. Role of various systems of the body in homeostasis. So there are different systems which are involved in the mechanism of homeostasis, and you have to remember all these things. So yeah, one or more systems are involved in the homeostatic mechanism of each function. Some of the functions in which the homeostatic mechanism is well established given below. First, the pH of the ECF has to be maintained at the critical value of 7.5, 7.4. Matlab, the pH of ECF should be 7.4. The tissue cannot survive if it is altered. Thus, the decrease in pH, which is called the acidosis, or increase in pH, which is called alkalosis, affects the tissue markedly. The respiratory system, blood and kidney help in the regulation of pH. So we will learn about all these things, like whenever we learn about respiratory system, whenever we learn about blood and kidney, we'll talk about that how it maintains or regulates the pH. Second is, body temperature must be maintained at increase or decrease. The skin, respiratory system, digestive system, excretory system, skeletal muscles and nervous systems are involved in maintaining the temperature within the normal limits. Matlab, if one system in this, not only one system is involved, but in every function there are many systems which are involved to regulate the mechanism. Third is, adequate amount of nutrients must be supplied to the cells. Nutrients are essential for various activities of the cell and growth of the tissues. These substances also form the source of energy required for various activities of the cells. Nutrients must be digested, absorbed into the blood and supplied to the cells. Digestive system and circulatory system play major roles in the supply of nutrients. Matlab, if nutrients are provided to cells, then it should be digested also, and it should be absorbed into blood, and then it should be supplied to cells, right? So digestive system and circulatory system both are playing role in this. Fourth is, adequate amount of oxygen should be made available to the cells for the metabolism of the nutrients. Simultaneously, the carbon dioxide and other metabolic end product must be removed. Respiratory system is concerned with the supply of oxygen and removal of the carbon dioxide. Kidney and other excretory organs are involved in the excretion of the waste products. Many hormones are essential for the metabolism of nutrients and other substances necessary for the cells. Hormones are to be synthesized and released from the endocrine glands in appropriate quantities, and those hormones must act on the body cells appropriately. Otherwise, it leads to abnormal signs and symptoms. right? As we know that in metabolism there are many hormones which are involved to synthesize synthesis and releasing of the hormone is required in that. So it is again the thing to be understand in homeostatic or homeostasis. Water and electrolyte balance should be maintained optimally, otherwise it leads to dehydration or water toxicity and alteration in the osmolality of the body fluids. We'll talk about osmosis and diffusion later on. Kidneys, skin, salivary glands and gastrointestinal tract take care of this. For all these functions, the blood, which forms a major part of internal environment, must be normal. It should contain required number of normal red blood cells, an adequate amount of plasma with blood cells, and adequate amount of plasma with normal composition. Only then it can transport the nutritive substances, respiratory gases, metabolic and other waste products. Skeletal muscles are also involved in the homeostasis. This system helps the organism to move around in search of food. It also helps to protect the organism from adverse surroundings, thus preventing damage or destruction. CNS, Central Nervous System, which includes brain and spinal cord, also plays an important role in homeostasis. Sensory system detects the state of the body or surroundings. Brain integrates and interprets the pros and cons of this information and commands the body to act accordingly through motor system so that the body can avoid the damage. ANS, which is autonomic nervous system, regulates all the vegetative functions of the body essential for the homeostasis. Then components of the homeostasis. Homeostasis system in the body acts through self-regulating devices which operate in a cyclic manner, and this cycle includes 4 components. This question can be asked in 5 marks short note, that write down what is homeostasis and write down what are the components of homeostatic systems. So in that system there are 4 components, and in that first is sensors or detectors. Sensor and detectors are which recognizes the deviation. If there is any kind of change in the body, then sensors and detectors are working to recognize this deviation. Then second is transmission of the message to the control center. If any kind of change is happened or any kind of deviation is there, then sensor is passing the message to the control center. Then third is transmission of information from the control center to the effectors for correcting the deviation. Matlab in third stage, control centers transmit the information to the effectors which can control which can correct the deviation. Transmission of the message or information may be an electrical process in the form of impulses through nerves or chemical process, mainly in the form of hormones through the blood and body fluids. And fourth component is effectors. Effectors are those which correct the deviation. Right? So there are 4 components. First is sensors. Second is transmission of this message to the control center, then transmission of the information from the control center to the effectors, and then fourth stage where the effectors corrects the deviation. So you can understand this as if you guys are having problem in online classes, right, for example, and you want management or you want principal sir to take some action regarding that, so what you will do? So either you will tell directly to this to your control center, which can be me, right? Or you will tell your class CR, Sailesh or Tithi, they can work as sensors or detectors, or you yourself can work as a sensor, that this kind of things are going on and this kind of changes are there. So what you will do, you or your CR or LR would work as a sensor or detectors, and then Shailesh and Tithi will transmit that message to me. I am the control center. Being a control center, what I will do, I will transmit the information to the effector, which can be principal sir, because after all he is the person who will take the charge and who will decide the terms that what kind of changes should be done. So my work being a control center would be, I will transmit the information to the principal sir, matlab to the effectors, and then effectors, matlab principal sir, would be the one who will correct the deviation, right? So this is how the components of homeostatic system works. Then again, this is important, mechanism of actions of homeostatic system. Homeostatic mechanism in the body is responsible for the maintenance of the normalcy of various body systems. Whenever there is any change in behavioral pattern of any system, the effectors bring back the normalcy, either by inhibiting and reversing the change or by supporting or accelerating the change, depending upon the requirement of the situation. So this is achieved by the means of feedback signals. So what I have told you earlier, that if is there any deviation, or if is there any change in the behavioral pattern of the system, so what effectors will do, effector will inhibit or will stop certain kind of thing or reverse the change, or otherwise he or matlab, if I'm talking about the system, so it will either support or accelerate, matlab either it can increase the thing or either it can decrease the thing, right? And this is achieved by the feedback signals. So feedback is a process in which some proportion of the output signal of a system is fed back to the input. This is done more often intentionally in order to control the behavioral pattern of the system. So whenever any change occurs, system receives and reacts to two types of feedback. First is negative feedback and the second is positive feedback. So negative feedback and positive feedback again can be asked in a 5 marks question. So it is important and it is one of the frequently asked questions in exam. So take care in that. First we'll talk about the negative feedback. So how we can understand positive and negative feedback. Matlab negative feedback matlab to decrease the product, in simple language, decreasing the product, decreasing the if I'm talking about the hormone, if I'm talking about the secretion of any hormone, so negative feedback reacts on decreasing the product and positive feedback reacts on increasing of a product. So let's talk about it in detail. Negative feedback is the one to which the system reacts in such a way as to arrest the change or reverse the direction of a change. Matlab to stop that secretion or to reverse the direction of a change. Matlab if there is an increase, then negative feedback work on decreasing of that secretion. So after receiving a message, effectors send negative feedback signals back to the system. Now the system stabilizes its own function and makes an attempt to maintain the homeostasis. Okay, let's understand this negative feedback with the example. So many homeostatic mechanisms in the body function through the negative feedback, and it is normal. body is reacting mainly through the negative feedback. For example, let's take the example. Thyroid stimulating hormone, which is TSH, and it is released from the pituitary gland, and we know that, right? So this hormone TSH stimulates the thyroid gland to secrete the thyroxine. So when the thyroxine level increases in body, it inhibits the secretion of TSH from the pituitary, so that the secretion of the thyroxine from the thyroid gland decreases. Matlab, if in body there is an increase of TSH, increase of thyroxine level in the blood, so secretion TSH from the pituitary gland would be inhibited, and that is how the secretion of thyroxine would be decreased. So on the other hand, if thyroxine secretion is less, its low blood level induces the pituitary gland to release more TSH. Matlab, if in blood there is a low level of thyroxine, then it induces the pituitary gland to release the TSH. It sends a signal that okay, now you have to release some TSH. So now TSH stimulates thyroid gland to secrete the thyroxine, right? So this can be the negative feedback. This, because in this it is the it is a cycle that, if it is increased, then you should have to decrease it, or if it is decreased, then you should have to increase it, right? But generally negative feedback is all about this. So another example for negative feedback mechanism is maintenance of the water balance in the body, right? So if I'm talking about the water and electrolyte balance, then also negative feedback would work. Then positive feedback. Positive feedback is the one to which the system reacts in such a way as to increase the intensity of the change in the same direction. Matlab, in positive feedback there would be the increase of the product. Positive feedback is less common than the negative feedback. However, it has its own significance, particularly during the emergency conditions. So it means that in emergency condition, positive feedback would work. One of the positive feedbacks occurs during the blood clotting. This is an example of positive feedback. So blood clotting is necessary to arrest the bleeding during the injury, and it occurs in 3 stages. So there are 3 stages of blood clotting process. First is the formation of prothrombin activator. Second is conversion of prothrombin into thrombin. And third is conversion of fibrinogen into fibrin. So thrombin form in the second stage stimulates the formation of more prothrombin activator in addition to convert the fibrinogen into fibrin. It causes formation of more and more amount of prothrombin activators so that the blood clotting process is accelerated and blood loss is prevented quickly. Other processes where positive feedback occurs are milk ejection reflex and parturition, matlab childbirth. And both are the processes which are involved in oxytocin secretion, right? So okay, fine, let's understand this positive feedback in other system. Okay, so you all are aware that so let's understand the positive feedback in another example. Okay, as you know that during menstruation and before the ovulation, ovary releases estrogen, right? So increase of estrogen leads to increase of GnRH, which is a gonadotropic releasing hormone, and which is released through anterior pituitary gland, and which is conveyed message by the hypothalamus, right? So excessive amount of estrogen is leading and giving signal to anterior pituitary to release the gonadotropic releasing hormone. Then increased level of GnRH stimulates the LH, which is luteinizing hormone, right? And excessive amount of luteinizing hormone triggers the progesterone, and it leads to increase in progesterone in blood. And progesterone, what would happen after excessive amount of progesterone in the blood? So it will give signals to the corpus luteum after ovulation to turn off the GnRH. Okay, so this GnRH will not produce, or the production of the GnRH or secretion of the GnRH would be decreased, and it will give the signal to turn off the secretion of the luteinizing hormone, right? So this is how the positive feedback works. So it was all about the positive and negative feedback. So for you guys, it is very important to understand what is homeostasis, what are the components of this, and what can be the examples of the homeostatic system. At the same time, you have to learn about the negative and positive feedback. It is very easy to understand, but at the same time, it is very necessary, right? Guys, you can ask me any questions if you are having through WhatsApp. So thank you again.